Hey Facebook. So I said I would be back a little bit later with another video. This one's going to be a really short one though. Just something that, I wanted to address. This one might be a little bit of a hard pill to swallow for some people too, because I know when it came up for me, I was like, holy shit, yeah, that is something that I do. So if this sounds familiar, let me know. Comment. Inbox me, let me know. Have you ever been in a situation where you're working towards something? Maybe you're working, you're an artist and you're working on an art project. Maybe you're a writer and you're working on a book. Maybe you're a musician and you're working on an album. Or you're a coach or a business person and you're trying to get your business off the ground, okay? Next thing you know, you find yourself in a relationship with an unhealthy, needy person. Someone that you feel like you have to save or take care of, right? Especially for us codependent types. Now, there's the dependent codependent, which is the needy one that really needs, someone to take care of them. And then there are those that are like the independent codependent. So they don't really need people, but they like to be needed. So they attach themselves to people that they need to take care of. I know I've been that person. So, you're working on something that's important to you, but then you get sidetracked by jumping into this relationship that is unhealthy. It's going to zap you. It's going to take your energy. It's going to take you away from what it is that you're doing. So you allow yourself to be distracted. You put all your energy and focus on this relationship and this partner, and, maybe a few months or a few years later, the relationship fizzles out and, you're going, if I hadn't wasted all that time in this dead-end relationship, what could I have accomplished? You blame the person, you blame the partner, you blame that relationship because you didn't accomplish what you wanted to accomplish. So you didn't get that book done, you didn't get that album done on time, you didn't get, that business off the ground because that person sucked up so much of your time, that it's their fault. It's not their fault. You subconsciously and deliberately called that in to sabotage yourself. Why? Because you're terrified of success. I find that people fear success more than they do failure. Because with success comes more responsibility, more work, more effort, more accountability, more people holding you accountable and watching you and holding you to a higher standard. This is why so many people in Hollywood, when they're up on top, they're great, but then when they fall out of the spotlight, they commit suicide because they can't handle it. It's hard to go from the top to the bottom. So for a lot of people, it's just easy to stay at the bottom. Failure is easy. So, this is why when we feel like we're getting somewhere, like we're accomplishing something, we're working towards something, we get scared and we look for something. We look for some distraction, and it's typically a relationship, an unhealthy one. And we're like, oh, hey, let me check this out. And then when, it fizzles out and you didn't get your shit accomplished that you wanted to get accomplished, you blame the other person. It's not their fault. It's yours. You self-sabotage yourself. And most of us do this at some point in our life. It's totally subconscious. We don't even realize we're doing it. But it kind of, came up for me a while back. I get these conversations with myself. My inner bitch needs to come out every now and then and give me a bitch slap and say, look, bitch, time to get real. I'm going to tell you about yourself. So, I sit back and I'm like, okay, yeah, I do this shit. I've seen myself do this. I've seen myself jump into relationships with unhealthy people that I feel like I need to take care of. And then you might even get to this space where you're afraid to leave the relationship. You're not happy in it. You don't want to be there, but you're afraid to leave it because you feel guilty. You feel like, oh, well, they need me. What are they going to do without me? They're going to struggle without me, and the reality is that's not love, that's pity. Love and pity are not the same thing. So if you're with this person because you're just thinking, they need you, you're not doing them any favors, and you're not doing yourself any favors, because you're sabotaging yourself from the level of success that, that you could be achieving. So I just wanted to put that out there, because, the first step to fixing something is having awareness of it. So once you have awareness of your bullshit, you can stop it, So have awareness of what you're doing and why you're doing it, and stop, blaming your lack of success on outside forces, because it really does just come down to you and what you want, you got to get out of your own way, basically. Like a healthy relationship, when two people are healthy and they come into a relationship together, let's say you have one person that's an artist and one person that's a writer, they should both be able to accomplish what they want to accomplish. The relationship should not take away from that. You should not be distracting each other from accomplishing your goals. You should be supporting each other and getting shit done. So if the relationship becomes so consuming that you're not getting that stuff done, that's not healthy. That's imbalance in the relationship. So you need to check that, like all these things that you had going on before the relationship, did they suddenly come to a halt because you're in this relationship? Get back to yourself and what you were doing in that, before that relationship. Get back on track, and if this person is derailing you, if they're keeping you from achieving the things that you want to achieve, then you have to look at that. You have to maybe say, well, maybe this isn't the right fit, instead of just sticking with it. But I've done it so many times. I just stayed in an unhealthy relationship, and then I got out of it. I was like, oh God, I wasted 6 months or a year of my life on this person. That wasn't the other person's fault. They were just being who they are, If they're a needy, clingy person, that's who they were, You sought that out. You sought that out because you wanted to sabotage yourself. Because, success is scary. But, get out of your own way. So that's my 2 cents. Spend it how you like.